With the High Seas World premiere came the Flesh and Blood community's first chance to open gold packs and begin the hunt for lost treasure. In the following weeks, the search was on for amulets, cold foils, and signed cards alike. But one treasure remained elusive, the cold foil version of this set's Fable. And with the official release last weekend, word came down. There is no cold foiled Fable in High Seas. At least, not yet. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. The riches of Tropal-Dhani are not yet ready to be found. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. Welcome back to the channel, and happy Flesh and Blood Friday. And that's right, today we're talking about the lost treasure that is actually lost, the missing cold foil Fable from High Seas, the riches of Tropal-Dhani. So, no secret, we talked about this card when it was revealed, because it's really good, very, very, very playable Fable, and might even be a meta Fable, which should make it in very, very, very high demand. So obviously, regardless of whether it was good or not, people were still going to be hunting for the cold foil Fable. And the background here is, for 2 weeks, basically. Folks were like, where were they? Thing I've got up right now from John Warden, basically like, WTF, brah, where's the Fable? My words, not his, right? But like, hey, where is it? And right, there was speculation, would it be a one-of-one type thing? And then on June 5th, headed into release weekend, the Collector's Center went live, as we would expect. And Chris Gehring, what you can see here, confirmed that there is no cold foil Fable. And not only did he confirm there's no cold foil Fable, but he said this is intentional, and that the corresponding rainbow foil drop rate was improved by 25% from the previous Fable ratios to account for this. So just putting in this perspective from the Wayback Machine for someone, right, maybe not completely up to speed, every set historically has had a cold foil Fable in it. Now, in the early days, the cold foil was in first edition, and the rainbow foil was then in unlimited edition. Now, around, it was Uprising, is when we moved to quote-unquote Fab 2.0, in which there was no longer first edition, second edition, and then the two cards were within the same set, obviously at slightly different drop rates. Certainly what's shown here implies that increasing it by 25% would imply that for every 4 rainbow foils, there's 1. At least that's what I take away from this. 1 cold foil is what I mean under normal circumstances. Again, they say they increased it, so it would be the same. So fair enough. I don't know if that ratio carries historically or not, but functionally, the sets since Uprising have had both the cold foil and the rainbow foil in it. And that's the background of why there's kind of a precedent for that happening, and that this is, in literal terms, unprecedented for what we've seen before. And on top of that, the fact that, as I mentioned, it's super playable definitely adds to this, because now it's not just a collector's thing. There's going to be a lot of players who are interested in it. Now, the cold foil is not necessarily relevant to the players not being able to find it, and if this note is true, and there's no reason to believe it isn't, right? But if this is accurate, that the net number of Fables within the set, then it has no impact on players. But certainly from a collector's standpoint, it does, right? Because they want it regardless of drops. To be fair, in my world, I'm just glad that it's not like a crazy one-of-one type thing, which, that'd be very like MTG, the One Ring, I think was the one, that Post Malone bought for like $40 billion or something. So I'm glad to see that's not the case. So what I want to talk about for the rest of this is why, right? As we mentioned, this is very unprecedented. So why would they be making this change to not put the cold foil in the set? So there's a couple reasons of maybe why. The first would be that they want to do this instead as some sort of promo. Certainly, I don't know that would land super well to see it up on a prize wall or something at some point in the future, or, become an event-winning exclusive or something. It's certainly possible. But that seems weird. To be fair, a lot of this seems at least unprecedented, right? It seems a little weird to me. But that is possible, that it could show up as a promo. I don't think that's super likely. I think that would super not land very well, like against the wider community. But we'll see. It is something that could happen. Next, it could come potentially in a later set. Maybe in this set they're searching for Tropal-Dhani being an island, right? With treasure on it. This riches, I don't know. I mean, it could be in a future set. That also seems pretty unprecedented. And every set so far has had its own Fable. I mean, every real release set, we should say, has, we had the whole debate over what's a product. Every set's had its own, and that seems weird to break from tradition this far in. Doesn't mean it can't, but it doesn't seem reasonable. And that brings me to number 3, which to me seems also weird, but more likely. So one of the things we've talked about on other chats headed into this set is because the lost treasure, right, your amulets, your signed cards, the other stuff, because there is a limited quantity of those and they go into the gold packs at a certain ratio, it limits the size of the set. Because if they ever want to create more, right, let's call it wave 1, right? The wave we have now, which, right, is not on shelves anywhere, at least around me. But wave 1 of this would have, they printed a run of 50,000 gold packs. I don't know, right? Well, no, it'd be one per display. So it'd be like, let's say conservatively 200,000. I don't know if conservatively. Let's just say for the sake of argument, they made 200,000 gold packs, right? They could never then expand on the set at all because they're limited by that gold pack. So it is possible that if they were to do like a second wave of gold packs, which would then be a second wave of product of this set, that the cold foil Fable could be within those gold packs utilizing the same slot or approximately thereof, right? I don't know if it doesn't matter if I see, like, I haven't sat down and done the math exactly, but that is a possibility that it could work that way, and they could adjust the run size accordingly. So that is completely plausible in this. And, this is a tweet, there's only so many characters and stuff like that, right? But the riches are not ready to be found, which means they're coming in some form in the future. I think we can all assume that. But it doesn't mean, to be fair, they could update the Collector Center. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with number 3 as well. And that's what makes this whole thing interesting. My leaning is towards number 3 being the most probable. However, I don't have a lot of confidence in number 3. So that's why I do find this to be a pretty fascinating situation overall. It's definitely unprecedented, and it'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out. I know there's some folks in the community who are not happy. There's always somebody who's not happy about something, but this one does seem definitely like a new one. It was said it was not a mistake. There's really no reason not to believe that, but it certainly seems odd. And I think it's reasonable for folks to have had their spidey senses tingling on this one. But we're going to have to see how this one plays out and see what happens when they finally find the island or whatever. I don't know. We will see. Thanks for joining. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think's likely? What do you think's happening? Do you believe it? Do you not? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Happy Friday, and go Commando.